So now I'm about to bring in Emily and Jenny. I haven't seen Jenny for a while, so this is going to be great. So I'm going to ask Emily and Jenny to unmute and start video because very keen to speak with them and have them share their coaching stories and see what Jenny's up to. Hey. Hello, Jenny.
Hey, Steph, is my sound quality okay?
Yeah, it's okay. There's a bit of a lag, but we're okay. Good to see you.
Great to see you. Yeah, sorry, in true ADHD fashion, I am running in between lots of different things. But yeah, great to see you.
It's been a while. So Jenny was one of the first clients I coached actually. It was a while ago now at university, and Emily I've coached more recently, but yeah, they're both doing brilliantly. So I thought it would be great if they would share kind of their coaching journey, why they came to coaching, what struggles they had, and how coaching helped them and where they are now. I mean, they're doing brilliantly. So maybe, shall we start with Jenny? We'll start with you, I guess. So in terms of you starting coaching, do you remember kind of what challenges you're facing?
Yes, I remember, of course. I think meeting deadlines, losing things, getting things done, motivation, self-esteem, all of the usual things, making sure I went to get my medication. But actually, I think one of the hardest things at university was the administrative forms to get any sort of support from the university themselves. I remember that being a huge thing that we discussed.
Yeah, Emily can relate to that as well, isn't it? The admin side, Emily.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have a lot of similarities in terms of what I struggled with as well. I mean, all of the forms and like trying to actually almost argue your case to the universities, even though you're just a number in their like big system, was just a nightmare. And then also just like workload prioritization, nightmare, especially in my final year of university. I had a lot of like time blindness as well, of just like thinking that I was fine and then just like losing track of dates, times, whatever it was. And also getting started on tasks I really struggled with as well.
Yeah, you guys, I both had the pleasure of coaching you around your dissertations. Yeah, it's really quite a, I don't know how you guys found it, but you know, I really felt as if I was in there, you know, in the trenches, you know, with you guys. I didn't know what the hell you were talking about. That I think that helped though, because I'd kind of ask you guys the right questions, and it would make you, you know, prompt you to kind of get clear because you know, because you had to explain it. And that kind of maybe made it clear for you. Like, was that your experience? It'd be interesting to, yeah, how did the coaching help you write your dissertation? So, yeah, Emily, do you want to start off with this one?
Oh, in so many ways. I mean, I I was putting a lot of things off because I just thought like, oh, I'll get around to it eventually. And I got to a point where my dissertation was due in 2 days and I didn't have an introduction. So I remember like Steph had to call me and basically just be like, I'm going to sit here. I have no idea what your dissertation's on, but we're going to do it. And it's just having that like body double to like help you through it and like forcing you to do tasks that you're like purposefully avoiding. Also like staying with me on calls until I actually did a section, which was so important because it's that like accountability factor as well.
Yeah, I mean, down to waking you up. I even enlisted my youngest. we remember.
Yeah, wake up calls, honestly. Yeah,
my daughter still remembers those as well. But Emily, wake up! Where are you? Good.
Yeah. Oh, if I was lucky, I got a song as well. That was great.
That's it. Exactly. See, you form memories. So it would have been, you know, just this traumatic time. Is, you know, we can. It does. I don't know. There's a different lens to it. I don't know about you, but yeah, definitely the memories. You know, I coach a lot of people, but I have to say, with all honesty, with you guys, very strong kind of memories. Like, you know, really, you know, it was enjoyable. It was again, we were really in it together, and I know with Jenny. Same thing with the dissertation. And also, do you remember, Jenny, the main thing was your parents, I think you remember for a while there, because you were struggling a little bit and they were thinking maybe university is not for you. but Jenny, though, actually, we uncovered Jenny's main ADHD motivator, which was challenge me. So I can't do it. Oh, really? Do you remember, Jenny?
I think everyone told me to stop. The university, the GP, my parents, my friends, and I was like, well, I'm gonna keep going now. But no, listening to Emily talk about her experience just brings back a lot of memories from 5 years ago and having that body double, and just getting started, because I seem to remember having sessions and you'd be there at the start, we'd talk a little bit, so I'd get into it, I'd get started, and then you'd maybe ask another question, and I'd be like, no, I'm writing now, I've got it, just like inertia to get going.
That's exactly it. I remember when you were doing the dissertation, sometimes you'd kind of, watch it, you kind of stop, and so I'd have to, well, what are you thinking? What's, going on? And you're like, I'm trying to, and then I'd be like, oh, and then because you kind of put it out there, you then kind of wanted to get there first. So that made you, made you move, through it faster. And I mean, you wrote your dissertation on ADHD. You remember?
I did. Yeah, no, I did. It was good. But I think writing a dissertation on something you're interested in makes it a lot easier. But
yeah, it's and that's something we should probably share. It was, I mean, have you kind of revisited that, put it out there anymore?
No, but neurodiversity at work is a big thing, and I've been involved there, and it's something that I definitely leave open to coming back to. I think now that 4 and a bit years have passed, I'm ready to start thinking about whether I would revisit. But yeah, I remember doing interviews with several women about their experience with ADHD in the workplace.
Yeah,
it was really interesting hearing other people's stories.
I can't believe it's been that long. I can't believe that long, that time has passed, because I can kind of remember it so clearly. And the thing with university, guys, and Emily will be able to agree with this, there's the work and keeping up with the workload, but then there's also the social side. There's also the friendship, relationship, side of things that can sometimes impact on your work. Do you recall? Jenny's just going, yeah.
Yes.
That's what is well done. Yeah. Emily, did you want to talk about that first? Just how, maybe flat sharing, how that can kind of get in the way?
Yeah, I think a key thing I found with ADHD is like balance is like your best friend, but also your worst enemy, because you need to have balance in your life, but actually implementing it and sticking to being balanced is so difficult in everything. And at uni, you're kind of thrusted into this environment where you're an independent person. There's no one to make you food. There's no one to say, don't go out tonight. There's no one to say, like, you've got to do this essay, don't go see your friends. So it's just kind of navigating this like crazy balance of everything all at once. And it's great in a lot of ways because you have this like newfound independence, but then also it can be incredibly overwhelming.
Yeah, and some of the choices, I mean, I still remember you on the train. Where did we?
Honestly.
Yeah, it's tough because you're given so many more choices, and as we know with ADHD, you give us more choice, we tend to kind of take the less maybe desirable ones, the ones where we'll get in our own way because we can. And I think university, particularly after school, because I know you both did well at school with the structure. I remember you, Jenny, telling me about how that that structure, that kind of confinement, and having kind of your family support you, how that all kind of helped. But then, yeah, when it came to you guys having to look after yourselves, starting to, the meal planning, I know with the exercise, Emily, remember your gym was downstairs. Why can't I go? No. But you remember, because of the anxiety to like, I've got to get this done. And so, Jenny, did you have those issues as well? Like in terms of trying to look after yourself at university when you've got the anxiety of the deadlines?
Yeah, exactly. I think it was so hard because you would put off doing your work and then you'd feel like you didn't have enough time, so you'd put it off even more. And then you wouldn't allow yourself to see your friends because you felt guilty because you weren't doing your work. But then that made the anxiety worse. So it was so hard to get a balance between, you know, doing things for yourself. Probably should have framed that doing university was for myself, but doing fun things for myself. And yeah, trying to get some work done. And I think sometimes that was hard for my parents to understand as well, that you know, that their opinion was I should lock myself in a room until I get it done. But that was quite difficult, I think.
Yeah, and that's the other factor, isn't it? Your parents, in terms of kind of understanding your ADHD and how you work. I can see him in his face, because yeah, I think I spoke to both sets of. I think I spoke to your mom, Emily. I definitely spoke to Jenny's parents when they were concerned about you at university, and kind of trying to help them get that ADHD lens. But it can be hard, you know, when your parents, when they start worrying, like, what effect does it have on you guys? You know, you're already worried, right? You're already kind of juggling these deadlines. But then if your parents are also worried about you, and kind of like, what did that do?
I think for me, like, it was difficult because my mum has a particular way of doing things, and then she was so not used to my way of doing things. So it became this kind of weird dynamic where she couldn't understand my approach to things because it was so peculiar for her to understand, and just like out of the ordinary from her perspective. But then obviously, because you're already feeling stressed about a certain deadline or a certain task you have to do, and then you have that pressure of someone external to you but also close in your life saying like, but why aren't you doing it like this? And it kind of piles up of, you know, they're trying to help you but maybe not in the most productive way. And I remember in third year that was a nightmare because my dissertation was obviously taking up so much of my headspace and just my thought process, and she couldn't understand my approach at all.
Yeah, because it's hard for parents, because, and I'm sure Jenny relates, you know, they see you struggling, you know, and no parent wants to see their child in pain. And so you, as a parent, you want, how do I stop this? How to stop this pain? And so I guess your mom, looking through her lens, well, this is how I would do it. I can see you're struggling. It's probably because you're not doing it the way I would do it. So this is why you have to change and do it my way. They're coming from that perspective. So yeah, and Jenny, what about you in terms of your parents and their approach, and what would have helped?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, they're anxious for you, and then you feel that they're anxious, and that makes you even more anxious. And it can all, you know, also, while I'm the only one diagnosed ADHD in the family, we all know that it does run in families, and it can all get a bit hectic. But yeah, I remember it being a difficult time, and it was just great to have a coach to sort of be separate for that and be on your side in the way that you wanted to proceed. I think that made such a huge difference. I also apologize if my phone battery dies. That's my fault.
No,
Actually, I'll blame my ADHD. Why not?
exactly. Look, I like that. You're giving yourself permission, embracing your ADHD. No, but it sounds like, I guess, in terms of the coaching, how, you know, I mean, you were able to finish university. You got your degree despite what your parents, you know what people were thinking. You did it, right? Which is amazing. And then what were you able to do with that? Where are you now? What are you doing?
Yeah, so I work in management consultancy, and I've managed to keep the same job now for a few years, and I don't think my parents ever believed that was going to happen, so they're really happy. Yeah, and I don't currently have coaching. I have it since we were last coaching, which was probably 3-4 years ago. You know, I'm sure I will need it again at some point in my life, but I think that's why it's important for people to know that coaching can help you so much that you can then survive without having it all the time as well.
Yeah, that understanding, I guess, of we came up with you uncovered a lot of, obviously, your strengths, but how you learned and processed information.
Yeah.
You know, I think that was those early sessions.
Yeah, and novelty. I remember that being a huge one, and having things that were new. So it was trying to find ways to make things I didn't want to do new or interesting.
Yeah. And so you're doing, so you're still taking a lot of the coaching kind of lessons with you, it sounds like, and at work. If you've been there for a while now, that's great.
Well, I think, I'm not sure I considered it when I chose my career. I think consulting suits me because you can change from industry to role type very easily. You don't have to apply for a whole new job. So it definitely suits me.
Yeah, no, you've done so well, and challenge is definitely one of the things that, works for you. That, keep on putting those things in place to reach for, proving people wrong. That's how you kind of set that higher standard. But yeah, you're really fulfilling your potential, and it was a pleasure and so good to see you. And let's catch up soon. You know where to find me if you need me, obviously. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Steph. Thank you.
Massive success story. And Emily, where are you now in terms of the coaching? Yeah, what did you manage to achieve?
So in terms of, I mean, you were literally crucial to me throughout my undergraduate the whole time. And then I went to Manchester and did politics, which definitely wasn't a passion of mine, which then made engagement into the subjects incredibly difficult. But with your help, I managed to get a first, which I was pretty proud of at the time because I'd never thought that would be possible.
It's brilliant though. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Of course it was good. Yeah.
And then now I'm doing a master's. And yeah, very different because I did my undergraduate in politics. So I'm now doing a master's in hospitality management. So completely different spectrums, but basically just trying to get into the hospitality industry now because I realized that was kind of where my passion lied. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, massive success story too. And yeah, we had fun. We have fun, don't we? It's it's been a joy, and you're going to be amazing. Like I remember when you first told me, "Don't kill me, Steph, but I'm doing masters." Oh, oh,
yeah,
you're doing it on your this time.
Yeah, I think similar to what Jenny just touched on, actually, like it's using the methods and the coaching that you learn, and then knowing that you can actually do it yourself and implement those methods going forward. And it's just like allowing yourself to, have that accountability and maybe body doubling with your friends, but like focusing on just like the bigger picture, which can be really like challenging, but equally like having those coaching principles like set in your head, it's much easier.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely killing it. And as I keep saying to Emily, she, if she wants to change careers, she can come to us and we'll get you coaching. Yeah, amazing. But thank you so much. And thanks so much for taking the time out because I know you've got to get back to your work.
No worries.
So,
thank you for having me.
Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye, Steph.
So these brilliant girls, honestly, such a pleasure to coach them.